What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got another video. This is a fantasy matchup. This is a matchup that could still happen, but right now I wouldn't count on it happening. But who knows? This one is Alfredo Angulo versus Antonio Margarito. I say would be at 154. Overall, it's a fight that has actually been brought up quite a bit in the last couple years or so, or maybe last year. Alfredo Angulo versus Antonio Margarito, and Antonio Margarito at one time was the longest reigning welterweight champion out of all the champions, like in 2007 when he first won the championship in like 2002, I believe. And Angulo is yet to win a championship. Angulo has an interim championship belt, but not a major championship belt. And what's interesting about this fight, and I'm going to talk like Margarito didn't use plaster. I'm going to talk like he didn't use plaster. But what would be interesting about this fight is who would win the early rounds. Margarito mentioned after the Williams fight that he was going to start faster, but Margarito was always somewhat of a notoriously slow starter. Alfredo Angulo is one of those fighters who starts a bit slow, but he starts to gain momentum as the fight increases. Same as Margarito, but Angulo knows how to kind of pour it on in maybe round 2 or 3. Towards the end of 2, early round 3, he knows how to really pour it on. Margarito at times doesn't really start to pour on until rounds 5 or 6. So what's interesting about this fight is the thought of who would win the early goings of the fight, or what kind of matchup would this be? Overall, I think that this is going to be a pure all-out brawl, because you have two fighters who come forward, two fighters who fight, and two fighters who are going to leave it all in the ring. And really, with Alfredo Angulo, he's proven to have a really good chin. He's proven that he can continue coming forward. And Margarito, of course, proved that he has a good chin and proves that he can always come forward. So I do think that this is going to be an inside fight all the way. And, hopefully, in a fight like this, there'd be like no cuts. This fight, more than likely, is in the same vein as, as Marquez and Vasquez, because it's two fighters, going at it. Not because they're two Mexican fighters, but they're two fighters who are going to be leaving it all on the line. They're going to put themselves out there. They're going to take risk, and they're going to pretty much beat the hell out of each other. That's the type of fight this sounds like when you think of it all on paper. This is a fight, more so of pride. That's the fight I think that's going to be. I think that this is a fight of pride. I think it's the will to move forward, the will to go on and continue fighting. I think this is the type of fight that this is. Because, you have two fighters who are not willing to go down and not willing to take a step back. That's the type of fight this would be. And really, I'll tell you this much. I favor, in this fight at 154, I'll favor Alfredo Angulo in this fight. Though Alfredo Angulo is young, though Alfredo Angulo has a loss over a guy who Margarito has defeated, who was Kermit Cintron, I think that this fight I think Margarito's style in this fight provides a lot of advantages for Angulo. One, Margarito doesn't move his head, and he continues, and he comes forward. And other than that, he doesn't necessarily move much. He comes forward and he catches shots coming in. And Angulo, I think, would take advantage of that. I think he would take advantage of that and throw combinations as Margarito comes in. And other than that, he hits hard. He has power behind those shots, especially the overhand right we saw against Yoel Julio a couple weeks ago on April 24th. I think that this is a fight where both fighters are going to come forward and they're going to, pretty much lay it all out on the line. I think it's an inside fight. I think it's going to be a pure battle, and I think it might be a bloody fight as well. Depending on depending on if both fighters cut or not. We've seen Margarito cut, I don't remember seeing Angulo cut. I really don't remember. But maybe in the Cintron fight, I can't really remember back that far. But because I've seen many matches since then. But I think that Angulo could outwork Antonio Margarito on the inside. They're not the fastest fighters. They're not. They don't have the best footwork or anything. But I think that Angulo will do a good job boxing Margarito on the inside, and I think he'll get that victory. Just based on that. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.